So I've opened up a Google Sheet document and I've already taken a little bit of time to input all of my data. So I did the launch distance in centimeters, that's kind of my title, and then I plopped in all of my data here. Now your data won't be in numerical order, and that is perfectly fine. Just type in all the things you got without having units. So you should just have raw numbers. So Sheet is going to allow us to create a box plot, and it's going to do most of the work for us. But there's one thing that we have to kind of format before we get into it. So I'm going to kind of repeat what I have here. Maybe I'll just copy this guy so I can use that later on. I'm going to double click there just to expand it a little bit. And I'm going to create a column that says minimum, a column that says first quartile, third quartile, and maximum. So these are the 4 things with the title, 5 things, that Sheets will need in order to make a box plot for us. Now we could do all this stuff by hand. That's a gigantic pain in the butt. We're going to let Sheets do the hard work. So to do that, we're going to create what we call formulas. And formulas will always begin with the equal sign. And there's a lot of different options that we can do. To get the minimum, we're trying to find the smallest value inside of our data set. So I'm just going to say MIN, and notice how it pops up. I'm going to hit enter, and it tells me basically what cells I can use. And this is perfect. It selects all the right stuff. But, just in case, I'm going to click on 18 and drag all the way down, basically telling it what cells I'm looking for the minimum. Then I'm going to close off that parentheses and hit enter. Boom, and it found the smallest value in our data set. Let's do the same thing for the maximum over here. So we're going to go equals to kickstart our formula. I'm going to type in max, hit enter, and again, it's not giving us the right values that we can steal, so I want to tell it to look at our numbers. Notice I'm not clicking on the title, I'm just clicking on the numbers. I'm going to close my parenthesis over here and hit enter. And so it found my biggest launch. The last 2 things we need before we actually build the box plot are what we call the first quartile and the third quartile. This is like the low and the high bound of the box that we're going to create. So again, we're going to go equals, and I'm going to start typing in quartile, Quartile. I'm going to hit enter. Now there's one weird step. So it's looking for the data and looking for the quartile number. So I'm going to select all my data. I'm not going to hit enter. I'm going to hit comma 1. So I'm telling it to look for the first quartile in all of our data. Close off the parentheses and hit enter. Now let's do the same thing with third quartile. I'm going to hit enter to kickstart my formula. I'm going to say quartile, select my data, so it should be looking through this. Instead of hitting enter, I'm going to hit comma and type in a 3 to represent the third quartile. Then close off that parenthesis and hit enter. Awesome. We have all the data that we need. So now I'm going to select my title all the way over to my maximum, and we're going to insert a chart. And Sheets will give its best guess as to what you're doing. In my case, it actually worked out. If yours doesn't, it gives you all these different charts. You're going to be looking for the candlestick chart, which is just our box plot. So we can see our maximum up here. We can see our minimum. We can see our first quartile is right around here, and our third quartile is right about there. So all we need to do is make this look a little bit more pretty. So I'm going to go to customize, and I'm going to make sure my titles and my axes look good. So let's title this something like launcher project distance data. I don't know, something like that. And it's going to change it over here. Launch distance, that's fine. Maybe launch data is a better thing. So maybe in the horizontal axis, I could probably leave that. But let's change our chart title, go down to horizontal, and let's just say launch data. And I can get rid of my launch distance if I wanted to. And in our vertical axis, this is probably more important, is our launch distance, and we measured all of those in centimeters. And now your box plot is done. So if you need to copy it into a document or your engineering notebook, what you need to do is click on those three dots right here and go to Copy Chart, and then you are ready to paste it into your document and you are good to go.